Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Optimising RPG. So today we are going to go through an entry in the 2016 Year of RPG compilation, and that entry is 6 times as Splendid by Bomber 50. So Bomber 50 did some pretty good entries in this contest. We went through the entry 1 in the very first episode of Optimising RPG, and now we're going to come on to one of his other ones. So this is a entry that I recently managed to make some significant optimizations on, and I thought that they were pretty interesting. I managed to beat the previous record by a very significant margin of 70 points, which is massive, and I was going to show you how I did that. So this is a pretty complicated opening room, right, by the looks of it. And yikes, these are some very expensive and tough enemies to walk into straight away. As you can see, like thousands of HP. I can't even hurt most of them. Yeah, everything is dealing a very enormous amount of damage. So what's going on? So the gimmick of this particular entry is that while this room is fairly complex, it is repeated 6 times. It was actually a complete copy-paste of this same room, and so you just play the same room 6 times, and then at the end there is a boss. Unfortunately, he does not show up when I remotely view. I do have to walk into the room. That's a fixable scripting bug, but that is just the way that monster has been coded, unfortunately. So, given that we have the same room over and over again, how are we going to assess doing this? Well, one of the big problems that we have is that we need a lot of attack before we can actually start doing any reasonable damage against anything. And a lot of these enemies are very expensive. So the Frost Spider, for example, there's 2 of them, and they're both guarding an attack. They cost like 2,000 HP right now. We do get a choice here between one of these, and we're going to go for the defense. It's going to pay off in the long term. Now there is one enemy that is pretty good for stats. Right now there's a Wraithwing that is sitting on top of the defense gem here. That costs 130, and we are actually going to kill him now, and we're going to take that. Otherwise, everything here, quite frankly, is just far too expensive. Like, if we want some attack, we can't even kill the spider, right? And everything costs like 1,000 or 800. So what we're actually going to do is we are just going to leave this room. So every time you cross a room boundary, you can see that you're going to get 250 HP and 2 attack and 2 defense. So we are actually just going to do that. And we're going to take the defense again here. And as you can see, the monsters are now getting a little bit better. We're actually just going to do it again. We're just going to take the defense. We just need more attack, so we're going to keep going. I'm actually going to just do this again. Now you might be thinking to yourself, this is crazy, right? What are we doing? We are skipping all of these resources. Is this really correct? And just running all the way to the end. Did I actually kill each of those Wraithwings? Sorry. Yes, I did. Okay, good. So, here we are in the final room. There we go, we've had an autosave. Stuff not so expensive anymore. We are just going to keep going and take a look at the boss. 10,000 damage. Okay, so clearly this was a bad strategy, right? We can't defeat that guy. But it actually wasn't a bad strategy. This is actually the optimal thing to do. And I will explain in a second. So right now, Evil Eyes are now free. We've actually gained enough defense, so we can just kill him and get the stats. So why in the world would we skip past all of these rooms? We clearly don't have enough attack left to actually... well, we can now take everything on, but everything is still pretty expensive. We aren't going to be able to defeat the boss like this. Well, I'd like to bring your attention to this. Why is there an arrow rotator token in this room? It clearly doesn't matter here. It doesn't really seem to be making any difference here. Or here. It's going to turn this way. But this one does matter. You can actually go back if you turn this arrow, and you can re-enter the previous room. Now the problem is you're going to re-enter the previous room here, and even if you turned the arrow rotator token in that room, you still cannot cross this arrow to go back. But there are 2 accessories in each room, the wall walking token and the warp token, and you can use these to essentially get out of this area and back into the main portion of the room. So either you jump from up here down to the bottom and re-enter, or you use wall walking to skip this wall. So what this means is that we can in fact actually go all the way back again. And what we're going to be doing is we are going to be returning all the way back to the start. Now the reason why we ran all the way to the end first was to pick up all of the freebies and get the defense from each of the Wraith Wings, so that we can actually deal proper damage to enemies and they are not too strong. This isn't really a sneaky trick. I'm not sure if it's actually possible to beat this hold without doing this at least once and walking all the way back, but it turns out it's very, very strong, and we are going to go all the way back to the very beginning of the hold, or of the level, rather. So what do we need to do this? Well, we need to open at least 2 Greckle Gates, or a Greckle Gate and a yellow door, and then we need either 3 yellow doors or 3 Greckle Gates. Now the reason why we need 3 is because there's a pressure plate here that actually recloses these 2 doors. So you open this door, you open this one, they close, you reopen this one, and that is your 3rd. And then as you step off, it raises again and you actually door walk out. So it's either 3 Greckle Gates or 3 yellow keys in order to get your accessory, and then either 2 Greckle Gates or a yellow key and a Greckle Gate to hit the token. Now, as we know from previous holds that we've optimized, money isn't worth anything at the end when you score. So normally that means that Greckle Gates are the thing that you would always prioritize first, right? We'd rather not spend 3 yellow keys when we could spend 3 Greckle Gates, is what you would normally consider. This does actually have more health in the way, but you're spending 3 yellow keys, right? Well, we should actually assess the value of the Greckle Gates in this hold. So for example, here are 2, and they give us a skeleton key. A skeleton key is worth 30 points. So that's actually 15 points per door right there. And that's actually better than the 10 points of a key. And what that means is that while we will be spending to hit the token and maybe get some accessories, if we have any money left over at the end and we spend it picking up skeleton keys, we're actually better off. So if opening yellow doors saves us enough money that we can pick up all of 6 skeleton keys, we're actually going to do better. And there's also here a yellow key directly for a Greckle Gate, which is 10 points. So what this means is that for the most part, Greckle Gates are actually more expensive than opening yellow doors. You are quite limited on keys. There are 3 yellow keys, 1 here, 1 under this Wraith Wing, 1 here in each room. And if we want to use just yellow keys, that's actually 4, so we can't do that in every room. And we are spending a bunch of money on other things as well. But it does mean that we actually, is complete topsy-turvy to most regular level sets, we actually want to spend yellow keys over Greckle Gates when we can, up to a certain limit. Eventually, if we spend so many that we have so much money left over that we actually buy all the skeleton keys and all of the yellow keys, the next best alternative is opening this gate and getting 5, and that's not worth it instead. So we want to open some yellow doors. It's actually better for our score to open some amount of yellow doors. I can tell you that the strategy that I'll be using does not pick up every yellow key. It does not spend money for them all, so we don't have to worry about getting worse value. Now these doors are also definitely worth opening. They give you here, that's 10 points, and then it opens up access to all this stuff, and also with the flippers you can open this and gain access to all of this. This pressure plate opens this blue door, so you never actually have to spend a skeleton key on it if you come in via the flippers. So we are definitely opening these 4 gates in every room as well. There are 4 attack gems and 2 defense gems locked behind those, so we definitely need to do that. So we've got our basic strategy down. We want to be opening some of these 4 yellow doors in each room, at least one, and we're going to want to hit the token and the warp token, and we're going to run all the way back. Now we do actually want to try and collect as many stats as we can in every room, so we're going to take a look at how we're going to grab as many stats as possible in this room. So first of all, most of the stats are hiding behind here, so we want to farm up enough money to actually open this. We could kill a spider, however the spider is right at an attack checkpoint and so are the mud babies, so we would like to avoid that. And we can kill 3 wraithlings, and that's actually cheaper than killing a roach queen, so we are going to go ahead and do that because the wraithlings are nowhere near an attack checkpoint anymore. In fact, we're going to get them reduced to 0 through defense far before we ever do it through attack. So we're just going to kill any 3. I killed the one that held a key because I might as well, he's better than the others. And now we can open these grapple gates. And if we take the grappling hook, we can pick up that attack right now. Now what we would like to do is we would like to open this one as well. And we have shaved quite a lot of damage off of the spider by picking up those 2 attack gems. Each one actually saved us damage, so we did end up saving almost 40 HP by killing 3 wraithlings instead. So that's why it was better to kill the wraithlings rather than the spider. And that gets us to exactly 10 grackles, which we can now use with the flippers to open this. Mudbaby takes 4 attack, and there is only 3 attack left in the room. We are not killing this sludge, by the way, he is way too expensive. So that means that we do want to kill the Mudbaby first. And of the remaining enemies, we are not reducing the Frost Spider anymore through attack, but we will reduce the Cryo Phoenix, and the Cryo Phoenix is in the way of defense, so we do want to reduce the damage. But we do want to collect attack before we go for the Cryo Phoenix. And if we do that, the Cryo Phoenix can be reduced again by more attack, so we are going to also take this Mudbaby, because it is better to reduce, like we save 31 if we hit an attack threshold on the Cryo Phoenix, and that's just going to be way more than picking up the defense first. So attack is our high priority right now. It is early in the hold, so attack is usually going to be better than defense anyway. And that's it for stats. The sludge is very expensive. He massively drops with stats, so we are actually, even though he is guarding an attack, we are actually going to leave all of the sludges until the very end. Just they are very expensive monsters. So what we want to do, we could open this and we could take a wall walking token. However, you know, if we do that, we also can't open this yellow door. We can't afford the wall walking token in every room necessarily, even though it's got this 200 HP, so we are going to spend money. We are much richer on money at the moment than we are on yellow keys, but we will spend this yellow key to skip through this, and that gives us some money left over for the next room and some keys as well, because if we start the next room with 1 key, that means that we can get up to 4 and we can take the wall walking token next time instead of the warp token, because the wall walking token gives us extra health, so it's actually worth more than going for the warp token. We do not have to kill those enemies that were left there in the room, so we are just going to keep going. And that is because we are expecting to, if we leave those enemies till the end, you know, they will be free. So now that we are back in this room, the Evil Eye is completely free, so we're going to kill him first. And now we want to get up to 30 grackles again, So how are we going to do that? Well, the Mud Baby is guarding some attack, and he needs only 1 more in order to get there, and the Frost Spider needs 2 more. The regular spider needs 3, and so it is much more reasonable to kill this guy first because he's got his furthest away attack checkpoint. Now the Mud Baby isn't getting any better with attack, so I'm going to prioritise killing the Mud Baby. Right, we're just not going to be making many savings if we leave him. The value of defence isn't very good, and that gets us to 30. And it gives us the attack now. Now what we want to do is we've picked up those freebies, we want to get these freebies. The Frost Spider needs 9 more attack to do better, and that's not happening, so we're going to kill him. We're still prioritising attack mostly over defence. However, in this case, the Mud Baby needs 2 more attack. There is only 1 more attack that we can reasonably get, so it's okay to kill the Mud Baby now. The Cryo Phoenix is 1 attack away, so we do want to prioritise the attack before the defence. And we are now going to pick up the remaining stats. Okay, so now we could choose to walk to the next room by the warp token again, but because we started this room with an extra key, we are instead going to go for the wall walking token instead. So if we pick up both keys, we can now take this. Now I'm just checking, I'm very close to 20 Greckles, and I will explain it when we walk into the next room, but I do actually want to leave this room with 20 Greckles, so I am going to kill a Wraithwing for 2 damage, so I can get up to 20 Greckles, and you will see why when I walk into the next room with the wall walking. So the wall walking is actually a little bit better than I implied. So originally I said we might have to walk into the room like this, but there's actually a better use of wall walking, and that is instead to do this particular walk. So by doing this walk, what we do is we actually avoid ever having to open this Greckle gate, and that means we can now pick up the warp token and save a door. And so by saving that door, you know, we can spend that 10 Greckles on a key at the end of the hold and basically save another 10 points. So the wall walking can save us extra Greckles throughout the hold, and so it's not just giving us extra health, it's actually giving us a massive score improvement by saving us a door as well, so it is a very strong thing to do. Evil Eye is free again. So what do we kill now? We want to get up to 30 Greckles to pick up our freebies. Well, the Frost Spider just isn't really getting any cheaper. We cannot get the Frost Spider to the next attack checkpoint without killing at least 1 Frost Spider in the room, because there is 7 attack and there's 2 Frost Spiders. So we do actually have to kill 1 now, so we're just going to make that decision. The Mud Baby needs 11 more attack to hit its next checkpoint, so we're just going to go ahead and kill that now. And the Spider needs 3 more attack. However, we aren't going to be able to get it, so we can probably get these 2 if we kill Wraithwings, but we can't actually open the next gate to get the 3rd attack without killing something else, and it just means that it's worthwhile to just kill the Spider now anyway. And that lets us pick up these freebies. Now the Cryo Phoenix is way off of his next attack checkpoint, as is the Mud Baby. We do need more money to open this next door, so killing the Cryo Phoenix gives us the money, and it also gives us straight away this trade for defense from the Mud Baby, so we can take that now. And then that is exactly the same trade as here, which we're going to do again. And we did reach an attack checkpoint for the frost spider, so that is also the last stat, so we're going to take that. And with those defense pickups that we got, all of the wraith wings are now also free, so we can just kill them to earn more money. Now what we need, we need to open this, and we already have the warp token to take into the next room. And I think that's all we do here. Yes, it is for now. So again, we don't actually need to kill these roach queens, so we're just going to save a little bit of health, because we're doing fine with money as well walking into this next room, so we don't need to kill anything. And now a whole chain of decisions very similar to last time, except now these guys are all free, so that reduces some decisions to make. We can pick up all of the freebies straight away because we get a lot of money from killing all that stuff. So what do we do now? Now it's just picking up the stats in the optimal order. So mud babies are pretty close to another attack checkpoint. Frost spiders and regular spiders are never going to be at another attack checkpoint again. They need quite a lot of attack. So it is okay to kill them first. So that's what we're going to do. We are going to kill a frost spider and we're going to kill a regular spider, and that puts the mud baby now at another attack checkpoint. And again, this one is also not going to ever hit another attack checkpoint, so we just get the defense. The Cryo Phoenix is 2 attack away, and there is 2 more attack in the room to grab, so we're going to take them before we kill the Cryo Phoenix and get the remaining defense gem. The sludge is now getting to a manageable amount, but it is still much more expensive than we need, and as you can see, we've already reached the stage where a bunch of monsters, we no longer care about hitting an attack checkpoint, so we're in no rush to pick up this attack anymore. Now I think, yes, we have 3 keys, and that means we are now in a good position to open yellow doors and pick up a wall walking token instead of a warp token. And I believe, again, that's all we need to do in this room, so let's keep going. And we're going to do the same trick as we did last time. And we have a bunch of free enemies we can kill, so we're going to do that before thinking. And that's 40 money, which is what we need to pick up the freebies in the room. So we're going to just do that without thinking. Okay, what next? Well, mud babies don't get any cheaper except through defense, and they guard defense. So let's take that first. Cryo Phoenix is now not going to get any cheaper. In fact, we've reached the maximum attack for pretty much all of these enemies except for the sludge. So that means that we should focus on picking up defense instead. So that is what we're going to do. We're going to go this way to pick up the defense. And now the Roach Queen is free as well, so we get to kill the Roach Queen for free. And we do not actually need to pick up any of this attack. So the only thing now that can be reduced is the sludge. But the sludge, picking up all 4 attack, like we're going to hit his next attack threshold in the next room, and then if I pick up the remaining 4 attack, it's not actually going to make an indent on the sludge, but picking up the defense will help for these. You know, we are getting hit 9 times because there's 2 frost spiders, and getting 2 more defense is going to help us more than saving 7 damage on a sludge, even if we did hit the attack threshold. So we're actually just not going to kill any of these guys right now. We're just going to walk now into the final room. All the way back. I saw that the final room, but it is of course the first room. And again, free monsters, they can all just die without thinking. And that puts us at 40 grackles, which means that we can grab the freebies without thinking. So that's what we're going to do. And again, the mud babies. All of these enemies are not being reduced through attack, so we are just going to get the defense first. There we go. We don't need that anymore. The sludge reduces with 3 more attack. There is 3 more attack to pick up, so we're just going to pick up some of that. In fact, we can freely pick up all of this attack here. And now we have reduced, you see here 5 more attack for the sludge, but there was only 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, there was 5, but it would have meant killing all of these, and it would have saved us 5 damage, so it's not worth it. But what we can do now is that we can go ahead and kill the sludge. The sludge gives us 12 money, so it is definitely worth. We actually make a money profit when we come in and kill it, and we get a load of health and attack as well. So that's us all the way down to the bottom. We have quite a lot of money left over, and we can use this now to start buying the keys, which are the best value that we get from Grackle Gates. Obviously we don't need to pick up any of these or activate any of these because the next room down there is nothing. And we're now just going to walk back up and we're going to clean everything up that we missed. So just killing the remaining enemies for their goodies, including these. We're going to pick up the yellow key and we're going to pick up the skeleton key. And that is everything. Yes, we are then going to keep going. These enemies are now free, ones that we left behind. We've already taken the yellow key in this room. We'll take that skeleton key. And then we're going to keep going. Here's another enemy to kill. Now in this room we actually do not want the yellow key. So there is not enough money left over and the skeleton keys are better. So we are going to prioritise the skeleton key and we won't be collecting any more yellows. More free enemies to kill. Another skeleton key to pick up. And then we're back at the last room where we left some more enemies behind. And this leaves us with exactly 22 grackles, which we open that, and there we go. And we've spent pretty much all of the money that we can. We've killed every single monster until now, and we have opened the doors optimally. So as you can see, there were still 2 keys left available. So we didn't actually want to pick up another walking token at any point because, well, so part of the problem is that when you take a wall walking token, to get the most value out of it, you need to then go for a walk token on the next room, so you have to alternate them, and we just didn't have enough keys on the way coming up. And obviously if you wall walk into the last room, you're not actually getting that benefit because you don't care for this. So grabbing 2 wall walking tokens was optimal, and the way that we did it worked out absolutely fine, the particular order that we took. And there we go, 70 attack, 46 defense, 5 yellow keys, 6 skeleton keys, and quite a lot of HP. This is the best score that I've come up with. You have to take damage from this guy, but that's fine. Really weird that they give you a sword token just to destroy a crumbly wall behind the boss. I think that's kind of meant as a warp token proof. I think somewhere on this passageway you might be able to warp onto this tile, which is why this got added in later. And that is 838 score. We are very close to a new score threshold. We are 6 HP off. I'm not aware of how to save 6 HP. It is entirely possible that there is some case of like killing an enemy earlier and then you don't have to farm up money on a later room or something, maybe. But, you know, it might be possible. I can't guarantee that any of these scores are optimal. But that is a massive improvement over the previous, which was somewhere in the like 700, I think it was 768, so that is exactly 70 points higher. So that's 6 times a Splendid. It's pretty tough if you don't know that you can go back. I think you have to go back through rooms. Normally people come in, they can't kill anything, they move to the next room, they never come back. You actually miss quite a lot of stats if you don't come back, and the boss ends up being like 2000 HP, and it's very difficult to kill him. But if you go all the way to the end and then come all the way back, this hold is actually pretty simple if you're aware that you can do that. And then there's all optimizing tricks around the accessory tokens. So that was it for 6 times as Splendid. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.